QTV News with me, Mamadou Gajaga. Our top stories. French President Emmanuel Macron congratulated President Adama Barrow. All council members except Yahya Jammeh were present at the execution of Lieutenant Basiru Barrow and others. Government engaging partners to help restructuring the security service. Those are our top stories, and now the news in detail. President Adama Barrow has received a congratulatory message from President Emmanuel Macron of France on the occasion of the 54th independence celebration of the Gambia, conveying his sentiments about the closer relationship between France and the Gambia. The French president highlighted the current areas of cooperation, such as security sector reform program, education, agriculture, access to water and electricity. He assured the Gambian leader of France's continued partnership with the Gambia on its priority areas. President Macron concluded with the best wishes to the president and all Gambian people. Ex-Private Mafuji Sanko of the Gambia Armed Forces Tuesday continued his testimony at the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission ongoing public hearings. He was testifying in relation to the November 11, 1994 incident. QTV's Ansumana Esonyase is covering the TRRC proceedings, and he now reports.
Continuing his testimony, ex-Private Mafuji Sonko of the Gambia Armed Forces Tuesday made disturbing revelations while testifying on the alleged killing of late Basiru Barrow, Dotfal and other suspects who were arrested in the aftermath of the November 11, 1994 foil coup. The witness in his testimony alleged they were killed at Fajara Barracks while others were killed the following morning at Union Barracks and the Brikama firing range respectively.
Lieutenant Lundi Karala, Ntolbe Tolie Mara Karola.
We were segregated. The lieutenant were at one side and we were on their left side.
Lieutenant Benye Buluba Karola.
Lieutenants were at our right side.
So Minube Buruba Karola.
Those at the right side.
Bundrifulanjango Tembeta Wollefe.
The second shooting was directed at them. Once those ones were shot, once the shooting started, we saw that a lot of people fell to the ground. But some did not fall, they were standing. Those that fell, those were there and their legs were moving. It's like they were shivering. Some, even myself, I felt something. Their mouths were making noise, but I cannot describe the kind of noise it was making. I was standing in front.
Further testifying, the witness alleged he was detained at Union Barracks for 3 weeks and was not served food or water for the first 4 days of his detention. He accused he was later transferred to Mile 2 prisons, where he was detained for 9 years without charge and was never tried before a court of law. He also claimed he was never served a letter to indicate the termination of his services with the Gambia Armed Forces. While he decried the conditions of the cells at Mile 2 prisons at the time of his detention, the witness alleged he was made to sleep on the floor and was denied access to a lawyer or family visits.
So ntolu tutaje fo jandung iba fala lokun hapolam bijele bar mbuka domori kede nte buka domori nte man domoro soto mbuka jiyo soto mbe minna wo lungolu kono nte buka min mbuka jiyo soto no mbe minna fa mbuka soto mbuka min mbuka domori ke.
So we remained in the cell for a period of almost a week, and during that period we did not have food, nor did we have any water to drink.
Larantije
there was no
concreto ye wolelo come nyintabulo be nyamen ro ya lo wole nyama da danta wole nyama mawara.
There was just a concrete
le mekela wole kan.
That's what we lie on, just like the size of this table.
Were you given any beddings?
Tansul ko foye fendi yalla le men ko mbajo wala ndarabo alsemen fene
wato men nan tata jele fo ngallo kun kilin nyong soto je.
When we got there and For the first 1 week, that was when they started to bring beddings to give us. But it was just one. They don't give you two, just one.
Meanwhile, the witness has also claimed funds in his personal bank account were transferred to the defense headquarters while he was in detention. He also claimed to have made several attempts to recover those funds to no avail. Meanwhile, he has submitted documents relating to his arrest and detention, which were admitted as Exhibit 0027. Ansumana Iso Nyasi for QTV News.
The government of the Gambia is still working with partners to help restructure and reorganize the security sector of the country. The latest is a 3-day capacity building program supported by the United Nations Development Program to build the capacity of the security officers. Babukar C has more on this story.
The induction course for the security service is expected to develop a strategic framework geared towards helping to achieve government's plans to have a well-structured and reformed security sector. Addressing the gathering, the United Nations Senior Security Advisor General Kelly said the course came through a discussion between the International Security Advisors Group to help bring together a methodology and procedure of moving forward and help restructure and build the Gambia security sector.
This induction course, as I said, has been brought about by the IAG so that we prepare for that particular task, bringing all the institutions and stakeholder groups to come together and design a methodology, a procedure, an approach for us to take the job forward. We know we have done a series of this drafting before, but we're still learning. We are learning as a group to take forward security sector reform. And so this specific one has brought you all here this morning as participants to start the process of building on what we already know. Many people say sometimes the Gambia does not have capacity. I differ a bit. I think we do have capacity in the Gambia. Perhaps we have not harnessed it properly. Perhaps we have not brought them together properly. So this particular induction course is to see how we can marshal that. Amongst you here, definitely we can have a team or teams to take forward the work of drafting these strategies.
For his part, Mai Ahmad Fati, special advisor to the president, said the security of the country has been neglected for 2 decades, thus the need to restructure and reorganize our security is paramount to Barrow's government.
The president keeps saying that without a stable and secure environment, our development priorities will fail. And we recognize that. So as we march towards 2021, it is important that the reforms that should take place should kick in without additional delay. We have already taken too much delay. And you, Gambians, must now assume the gauntlet in your own hands, making sure that the process must have faster traction. So we expect at the end of the 3 days, we will leapfrog and catch over from all the delays we have done over the past few months. I want to assure you we will support you, but we will also watch you, but we will not give you breathing space because we have had enough space. Now it is time for us to get the job done, and we will do this job. There is no other alternative and no choice. So as you stood today, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to be with you. The president is with you. The government supports you. But we will get the job done, and we will do it successfully, without additional delay. Finally, I wish to reiterate that every one of us here has a role to play at individual, institutional, and national level to ensure a successful induction.
The reform process would lead to the emergence of a professional and competent security, as building an effective governance policy is a complex task, but that the government would achieve its objective and do her best to keep the country safe, stable, and at peace, which cannot be achieved if the people tasked with the responsibility of securing her people and property are not well equipped. Babukar C, QTV News.
The Constitutional Review Commission, CRC, has conducted training on household survey for the new constitution on Tuesday to bring everyone on board the process of drafting a new constitution. The exercise would also assist the CRC to determine the percentage of the people who are in favor of any given constitutional issue. Ajibintu Drame has more.
The mandate of the CRC is stipulated in Section 6 of the CRC Act 2017, which is to draft a new constitution for the Republic of the Gambia and to prepare a report. The CRC is required to review the 1997 constitution with Gambians both at home and abroad for their input in the constitutional review. The survey is to facilitate to gather and analyze data using scientific and statistical approach involving pre-tested survey instrument. It would be conducted nationwide and 463 enumerated areas have been identified. The exercise is also expected to last for 40 days. Omar Jallo, representative of CRC Chairman Justice Cherno Suleiman Jallo, gives the purpose of the survey, saying eligible voters are estimated at 1,064,619 according to the 2013 census in the Gambia, and 9,263 individuals would be interviewed, which represented about 1% of the current voter population.
The purpose of this household survey that has brought us together here today is to ensure that people are encouraged in randomly selected households to participate in the process of making the new constitution. Now, this household survey will complement and supplement the qualitative information obtained from the public consultations with quantitative information. In other words, when we were going around the country, we were talking to Gambians in the banter bars, in the schools. Whilst doing that, we have generated a lot of information that was recorded, and our transcribers have already transcribed that information, and we are trying to tease out content from that material for the drafters to be able to use that information to try to establish where public opinion lies when it comes to the drafting of this new constitution. Now, the household survey is expected to follow strict statistical procedures to obtain the opinion of the people on the new constitution. Now, this will provide a strong statistical basis to make inferences about the constitutional views of the Gambians. Now, in other words, the household sample survey will enable the CRC to determine the percentages of the people who are in favor of a given constitutional issue or a given subject matter. Now, the public consultations, which had been concluded, would give the reasons for any opinion expressed by individuals.
At the end of the two-day training, a practical field exercise would be conducted on Thursday, where 52 participants will be selected out of 63 participants to take part in the survey, which includes 12 supervisors and 40 enumerators. The exercise would commence on Monday, 18th March 2019. Ajibintu Drame, QTV News.
A three-day training for farmers and extension workers on improving food security and nutrition through food fortification was organized by the National Agricultural Research Institute, NARI, in collaboration with the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, at Yundum. Babukar Sise reports.
The training is focused on pre- and post-harvest handling on bio-selected and bio-fortified crops such as maize, cassava, sweet potatoes, and cowpea. At the opening, Director of Food and Chemistry Program, Usman Jaju, gave us an overview of the food fortification project.
With high level of poverty experienced in the Gambia, where 35% of the rural household and 55% of the urban household are below food poverty line points, food and nutrition security is a challenge. Hence, improving nutrients, nutrition and food security is a priority for the Gambia government, as reflected in the National Development Plan 2018 to 2021. The government, in partnership with FAO and the United Purpose, which is another project, which is also on the same project that FAO is already implementing, are implementing a 5-year food fortification project from 2017 to 2021 with support from the European Union The project, which is known as Improving Food Security and Nutrition in the Gambia through Food Fortification.
The FAO project coordinator, Solange Hayes, explains the efforts made by the Food and Agricultural Organization to combat hunger and promote nutrition.
FAO goal is to alleviate poverty and hunger by promoting sustainable agricultural production, improve nutrition and food security, and also the access of all people at all times to the food they need for active and healthy life. So as already we are saying, we are promoting biofortification to help malnourished people, vulnerable people as children and women to have access to vitamins, especially vitamin A and iron in the different food that we are having. For this project, FAO has been providing technical and policy support to different governmental institutions and private sector. So you can see that we are working and collaborating with different areas to make sure that the project is sustainable and that the production of these fortified and biofortified crops that we are promoting are enough in the country to cover all the needs.
The Regional Director of Food Fortification Project for CRR North, Fode Jadama, says the training is important because all the relevant sectors are involved.
The composition of the trainees is very important, and I think is completed. We have the technical unit, which is food technology services in our midst. That is responsible in our arm of the Department of Agriculture. That helps us and train with the extension workers in the front line to be able to help the farmer and train the farmer on processing and preservation. The farmers themselves are here. They are the one responsible for producing the crop, prepare the crop for the family to consume. So it's important for them to be here. The extension workers are here. They are the one who are the vehicle, the engine, the canal of technology to the farmer. We are what we call the interface between the research system and the farming system. The researcher's responsibility is to generate technology. Our responsibility is to pick the technology and filter it down to the farmer.
Babukar Sise, QTV News.
Recently, the Office of the Inspector General of Police received information that the lifeless body of a man identified as Edmond Thomas was found lying under the chassis of a fuel tanker at the premises of the Global Electrical Group, GEG, in Brikama. Jennifer Sonko has more on the release.
Preliminary investigations revealed Mr. Thomas was a mechanic supervisor at Global Electrical Group until he was laid off some 6 months ago. On the fateful day, it is believed he drove to the location in his private vehicle, a black Pajero marked BJL 5388B, and upon arrival, removed some parts from the fuel tanker which belongs to his former employer, Global Electrical Group. Mr. Thomas's body was found by the spouse of Mr. Fode Sise, a man employed by Global Electrical Group to secure their premises. She informed her husband and he reported the matter to Kabafita Police Station. After taking appropriate actions, the police moved the deceased to Birkama Health Center and eventually Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital for autopsy. The Office of the Inspector General of Police hereby informs the public investigations are ongoing and its outcome will be made public as soon as possible.
Before we end this bulletin, a recap of our main stories. President Adama Barrow has received a congratulatory message from President Emmanuel Macron of France on the occasion of the 54th independence celebration of the Gambia, conveying his sentiments about the closer relationship between France and the Gambia. The French president highlighted the current areas of cooperation such as security sector reform program, education, agriculture, access to water and electricity. He assured the Gambian leader of France's continued partnership with the Gambia on its priority areas. President Macron concluded with the best wishes to the President Adama Barrow and all Gambian people. Ex-Private Mafuji Sonko of the Gambia Armed Forces Tuesday continued his testimony at the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission's ongoing public hearings. He was testifying in relation to the 11th November 1994 incident. The government of the Gambia is still working with partners, help restructure and reorganize the security sector of the country. The latest is a 3-day capacity building program supported by the United Nations Development Program to build the capacity of security officers. That's all in the news, and thank you very much for watching.